Teacher called me a failure until I became the richest final part. I looked at her confused and asked what she meant. She looked back and said, "Aren't you here as the delivery driver?" I laughed nervously and told her that I was here because of my little brother. She then looked at my brother and had a shocked expression. She told me that she didn't know that she was teaching my sibling as well. She started laughing and looked back at the other teachers and began to tell stories about how she used to teach me, and that all I did was focus on my little business. She continued telling them how she always told me to give up and just go to college like my peers. My little brother looked confused because he knew that those businesses made me a fortune. She then looked at me and said, "If you're not delivering food, then what do you do?" I smiled and told her that it was a secret, but if she was willing to, I'd show her my car to give her an idea. My brother looked at me with excitement and asked me if I brought it. My math teacher then proceeded to say that I was not going to impress her with a Camry as she rolled her eyes. I told her that she and the other teachers could take a look after the meeting. When the meeting ended, she came up to me and asked me if I still wanted to show her my little car. When we started walking towards the parking lot, the other teachers also followed. After a couple of minutes she saw my McLaren wrapped in midnight purple parked in the disabled parking. I looked at them with excitement and I could tell all of them were speechless. A lot of you guys might shit on me for this, but I ended up yelling at my teacher, telling her that the businesses she told me to give up on, bought me this car. I lectured at her and began telling her how I was a millionaire and she wasn't. It was very immature of me to say now that I look back, but I didn't care. I'm normally a humble guy, but this was the only moment in my life where I felt like I could have a pass. What's even crazier is that she proceeded to tell me that I bought that car illegally, and that I should come clean to her. I started laughing, and asked if she wanted evidence that I was actually rich. She looked hesitant answering, but I just ended up showing her everything. I showed my bank account, my credit cards that she doesn't have, earnings for today, and pictures of my office. I left with my little brother afterwards and both of us started laughing, mocking her face when I yelled at her. I held in that grudge for a long time. People say revenge is not the answer, but I think the opposite. I felt peace afterwards.
You can now check if there's a part 3 by pressing share and more.